Upcoming in Throne and Liberty, we'll be getting a whole bunch of new content, including new Battlegrounds. You can see a bunch of other content upcoming too, but we finally have more details on what's the story with those Battlegrounds, as the Korean server just got this as their update notes, releasing tomorrow, November the 20th. This was originally announced back with their October update.
I want to talk about a growing desire from our players to have the ability to engage in more structured PvP outside of the competitive large-scale options currently available in the open world events and conquest battles. I'm happy to say this is something we've had on our radar for a while, and we're excited to bring you a new feature that will come in mid-November that will provide on-demand battle feature.
So what he means by that is these Battlegrounds. Now be aware, those of you hoping to take away extra loot, unfortunately will not receive any compensation. They're simply for guild and group practice battles. You'll be able to set up like a room and essentially have up to 4 teams of 30 people each. The maximum you can have in a room is 200 people when you include game spectators. You will have like a waiting room where the room manager can create and form the teams. Each team must have 1 team leader and 3 guardians, and you can easily move people between the teams. The room leader cannot be a team leader or a guardian for some reason. The game starts 5 minutes after you enter, and you essentially have key points you need to control in order to obtain points. And I assume the team by the end of the time frame who has the most points wins. All of your kills and assists achieved during this battlefield, these Battlegrounds, will not go to your, say, kill record or ranking. Again, these are primarily for just battle practice. There are no rewards for winning or losing. The total duration of these Battlegrounds is up to the team leader and how long they set it for, based on their settings they input. Again, this is with the Korean update, so it's a new feature. I assume we'll be getting it very soon. As per their update video, they said mid-November is when we can expect it. Maybe that's delayed a little bit for us here on Global, but it's already going out on November the 20th for Korea servers. Another thing noted here, which is actually pretty great, is the fact that random matchmaking has been changed from just 2 people to 4 people. So you'll actually be able to join a few more of your friends when doing that random party matchmaking. Now, they haven't seemed to add any penalties for, say, leaving or cancelling when you request matchmaking, which for me is fine actually. Since I've gotten the majority of the gear I need from those queues, I don't really need a Pacific dungeon anymore, which means I'm perfectly fine with just accepting whatever I get. And I think a lot of people are like that too, and so I think it's okay every now and again if somebody really doesn't like a dungeon and it pops up as their random queue option, they can decline it. So with any luck, they don't add those penalties. As you may have already seen, 2-star co-op dungeons are coming already November the 21st for us, so this Thursday, with a new dimensional contract token. So there's no point currently saving your dimensional contract token ones, as we will not be using those. We can already assume that the gear that these 2-star dungeons will be dropping is like on Korea, excluding the tier 2 gear. That means field boss gear is dropping here, including gear that comes from arch bosses. But to be clear, not weapons, only arms, chest pieces, head pieces, legs, and boots. You can see a list of other things we can look forward to getting, including challenge dungeons with the rune system as I described in an earlier video, a guardian rework, a new weapon. It's already been confirmed as per their Castle Siege trailer. You could see the end clip here hints at, a new weapon coming to us. As per leaks in the past, it would be, say, a spear most likely. On the topic of Castle Siege, we just had that, and let me know if you've run into this issue as well. Unable to retrieve pillage loot from the castle event. I partook here with my guild, with my alliance, massive, like over 100 players here, and we successfully captured a few pillage points. This makes us eligible to obtain over 9,000 Lucent between us, but currently there's been no sign of it anywhere. It is mandatory for the guild leaders to give out a certain portion of that to the participants, so it's not like they could hoard it all. But maybe we just have to wait. Be aware that tax is worse than you think in terms of selling items for say 10 Lucent. You only receive 7 back. So they're basically taking 30% of what you would have earned. Rather than them rounding up from 7.8 to 8, they just take even more off you. So it can be even less worth selling items for just 10 Lucent. Especially with new systems coming down the road, cheap epic gear can just be not worth selling. And at this point, barely even the blue gear sells for 10. Because trait extracting a purple piece costs 25 trait extraction stones. Definitely better off waiting for those 2-star dungeons, or even hoarding that epic gear for when tier 2 gear comes down the road eventually. That'll still be quite far off, like March next year at the earliest. But yes, you can use epic gear to stack blessings on your gear. And then when you do get tier 2 stuff, you can immediately max trait it. Someone's complaining about the PvP flagging system. I personally also don't really like it. Basically, if you enter a PvP area for the first time, you're not flagged for PvP, and you can use a skill to attack somebody and it deals no damage because you're not yet flagged. So you have to hit somebody first, and then you're considered flagged, and then you can use your skills to attack them. So basically you have to auto attack somebody first, which kind of sucks for melee and more beneficial for range. You can just hit somebody from afar. Still pretty annoying, and you should just automatically get flagged as soon as you enter a PvP zone. Unless say you just spawned there, then yes, sure, maybe I get some respawn immunity. Someone stating this game needs a standard Trasmog system. Absolutely 100% agree, but I can see why they don't want to add it if they're just going to be selling those transmogs on the store, as that's probably one of their main monetization systems right now. If you want to look different from the armor you're actually wearing, you're going to have to pay for it. Now, on a controversial topic, people are stating the game needs combat logs and DPS meters. I personally would absolutely love them to add the ability to record combat logs. Then you can parse them and see a full breakdown of, say, the damage you would deal. This is an example from a different game. But it's controversial because of the fact that you can then see the damage output of other players more explicitly, meaning you can more easily gatekeep them. You can know for sure that guy's not doing that great, I don't want him in my party again. Or he's not doing great, we should kick him. Even though he might be playing all the mechanics perfectly, he's just not really carrying his weight. Well, I personally would prefer the clarity of that, to know that, and it's up to me. Am I going to kick a person because he's underperforming, or do I need to kick a person because we can't complete this because our group doesn't have enough damage? But in terms of a testing standpoint, I would absolutely prefer to know the full breakdown of my abilities, to be able to analyze everything point for point so I can know exactly which is best to use. Now we just have a bunch of guesswork in between, especially that a lot of our stats are based on just chances. But again, a very controversial topic. People have a bad experience in previous games, evidently. Not me personally, though. Somebody also mentioning we should have 4 slots for skill builds. Personally, I think we should have at least 10. And when you switch here, it should change everything, like your gear and your skills, just to make it a lot easier to just switch. Basically, loadout. And finally, there's a bit of a teaser here with, say, new cosmetics coming to the game, at least to the Korean server. And to me, they honestly look pretty awful. But I guess that's a matter of personal taste. We can see more details on this blog post. This is confirmed to be coming on the Korean server at least November the 20th. We very well likely will get the same. The prices, though, I'm pretty sure are usually pretty different for us here on Global. But you can see what those cosmetics will look like here on a female character with the different decorations as well, and then on a male character. And you'd also have then, if you change the certain colors, female, male, and then there's also weapon skins coming. So that's like the great sword, that's like the sword and shield, that's the daggers, this is the crossbows, the bow, the staff, and the book and the wand. Yeah, I'm not a fan of this. Those weapons just look like balloons, basically blow up props. So that's about it for this update. Thanks all for watching, and we'll see you guys around. Goodbye for now.